Welcome back to the Blissful Athlete, everybody. Thank you for tuning in as always. If you are new here, yesterday we did our first ever Vakyartha Sadhas, which was inspired by our Guru Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And today we're going to continue on with that Vakyartha Sadhas. And ultimately what we're doing here is really trying to raise the quality of our consciousness. And what we want is to increase this deep space of meditation, this understanding that we are Paramashiva, by contemplating and discussing the various deep spiritual truths. And yesterday we were speaking on the five aspects of Paramashiva that are both in the macrocosm and in the microcosm. And today we're going to dive into that a little bit more. And just so everybody is aware that these spiritual truths, when we cognize them, chew on them, they can directly lead us to enlightenment itself. And this was why this is such an integral part of the ancient Gurukul system, this Vakyartha Sadhas, this contemplation, internalizing, discussing, debating with fellow disciples these deep spiritual truths of our reality. And so today, again, we have my good friends Sri Nithya Ashutoshananda and Sri Nithya Yinatmananda, and we'll discuss these. And I really do implore you to get engaged in the comments section and ask us questions, involve yourself. If you're watching this now, spend 10 minutes, just spend 10 minutes here and contemplate and think on these truths, meditate on these truths with us. And if you do that, the thought currents will increase intensity. The thought currents help increase intensity in you. And that matters for the quality of your existence, the quality of your very consciousness. When you're chewing on powerful cognitions, it raises your consciousness to greater and greater levels. And if these great thought currents enter into your brain, what my guru says is that it infuses energy into your body for you to be alive, for you to embody Paramashiva, the divine, the creator of the cosmos. So the macrocosm now becoming into the microcosm. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring in my two good friends and we will discuss these deep spiritual truths. And again, spend a little time and contemplate these truths with us. And I can guarantee you will experience an altered state of consciousness. You'll have a powerful click that can help you and take you to a whole different understanding of what we are doing here on this planet. We're not just these human beings. So what are we? And with that, we will dive into this understanding that we are super conscious beings, and we will contemplate and internalize and meditate on these truths. So Ashutoshananda, welcome.
Yes.
Nithyanandam and Yinatmananda, welcome. Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam.
Before we get started, we'll begin with a prayer, and maybe Yinatmananda, would you like to lead us in the Sadguru Vandanam before we dive into this Vakyartha Sadhas?
Sure. So just close your eyes, bring your awareness to your breath, and breathe as slowly and deeply as you can. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sarisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunaraitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So the five actions of Paramashiva, just to recap from yesterday and to recap from what Swamiji's been speaking about all week. Srishti, the manifestation. Sthiti, sustenance. Samhara, which is rejuvenation. Prabhava, which is pulling out of delusion. And anugraha, which is liberation. At all times, these five actions are happening in the macrocosm and also within us. And this is one of those deep spiritual truths that we are going to be contemplating on today. But with this, a lot of different strings of thought currents that are flowing from this. And I want to open this up and see if either one of you would like to lead us into this discussion so we can take ourselves to a higher state of consciousness.
Nanda, you want to go ahead?
Just so everybody knows, I'm going to put some pressure on Manana today, because there's somebody in the comment section that was sitting waiting 20 minutes, they said, for you to involve yourself in the discussion. And I said, well, before we went into this session off camera, Manana was saying that Jivartha Sadhas is actually about being in that space of listening. And I really feel that's the space that you were in yesterday. And so I'm going to defend you a little bit there and why you weren't involved in the conversation at the beginning. But I am going to put a little bit of pressure on you today as well to make sure that you're...
I was involved. See, listening is not the note on non-involvement. Actually, listening takes you to a deeper space of understanding. Listening itself is actually the solution. So more time for listening brings deeper sharings. And the Vakyartha Sadhas is, see, most of our life is we're running and not sure where we're going or why. Vakyartha Sadhas provides a safe place. And so the possibility is for an entire community to be involved. You can have 20 or more people mic'd up and sitting, listening. So those kind of things bring out real deep sharings. Really, the experience of Vakyartha Sadhas from my side has been every morning we're gathering with your community. See, in our lifestyle, we cook together, we eat together, we do yoga together, we wake people up, we do everything required for the community together. And the Vakyartha Sadhas is a place where there's, I mean, this is a little bit more of a discussion because there's fewer of us, but it's a safe place where listening is allowed, and you will not be violated if you choose to listen. And that was always the most beautiful experience we had. It's a place where you go for at least 40 minutes, 1 hour of your day, where there's no pressure to be, to perform, to show up someone or something. It's a safe place to go, share and listen, and openly share. And it's one of the most beautiful things a community can do, is provide a safe place for listening, where you're not going to be attacked, and where people can openly share what their concerns are without fear of repercussion. But yeah, we're starting something here, and it has many possibilities, not just the Vakyartha Sadhas. We all have many possibilities of our own, and a lot of people that we're linked with already. So it's a work in progress, and it's has a great future. So I'm very happy to be part of it, and completing for the 20 minutes.
No need to complete, as you said. You had a great start. You didn't even need to say completion. So you're absolutely right. Yeah. Absolutely right. Ashutosh Ananda.
Yes. So what I today, Swamiji, he really emphasized on, there was one component which hit me more today than the previous days, which I believe I did not even share the previous days. He shared today. So he's been talking for the last few days about how big bangs and black holes are created, sustained, and destroyed or rejuvenated simultaneously. So that's what Swamiji has been revealing in the last few days. Today, he added another component. He was sharing how he understands how we are struggling because we operate from a mind which cognizes linear. But he wants us to start to look into not linear, instead of having a single line, but having what I understood. That's what he's trying to bring us towards, this multiverse, right? Where you have different things, or even vertical time zones. Today I was thinking, oh, maybe that's also what vertical time zones are. And he was sharing that it is not that a different Big Bang or black hole is happening simultaneously. He says the same Big Bang. He was giving the example of Big Bang A and black hole A. Both are happening simultaneously. Again, that is the key word, simultaneously, on different planes, different dimensions. And he was saying that We have to contemplate on this so that powerful cognition sinks in and opens a new space within us, an experience of expansion. So yes,
for me, the only way that starts is just with a visualization, because when Swamiji says that in satsang, it's so beyond my logical mind. Like I can't, I don't grasp it. The only way I can understand it is when he, one satsang, maybe it was 3-4 satsangs ago, when he said it first, zoom out. When he said zoom out, that gave me this understanding. Okay, I need to like pull myself, like imagine myself on this earth, zoom out past our galaxy, past, and just all of a sudden you're seeing the entire Big Bang, entire black or entire cosmos in front of you. So when I'm trying to visualize this simultaneous action of Big Bang, black hole, the whole cosmos in front of me, the only way that I can actually start to grasp this is by zooming out. But only then it's still like a visualization for me. So like when I know I joked about with Yanatma not speaking much yesterday, but that in itself is like I just need to meditate on that and visualize that and like kind of contemplate it. I don't know how many, like I can't really feel like I have a lot to say even. And so the whole concept of Vakyartha Sadhas on this for me is, and it's coming in a nice circle, is like for me right now, it's not even about me speaking. It's about me trying to see what the visualization is that's being put in front of me. And again, for those that are here, please continue to comment and we can pull these up as well and see if you have other ways of helping raise us to higher understandings as well. Because it does not come for me right away. Sometimes we'll talk about it and all of a sudden I get that click, and that's when that Kundalini happens, that shock of bliss. And so the understanding is, for me, liberation is only available through Guru. I know this without a doubt. I've experienced it myself. And so I'm just trying to trust in him in discussing these truths, because this isn't a practice that we do this more casually, not a real official sit down. And so I know that this is a technique for liberation, and I know that I just need to sit and listen. So I'm going to stop talking. If somebody else has something to say, I'll scroll through the comments as well and see if we can spark a little more internal fire. But I'll leave it to Yanatma Maharaj maybe to start.
Yeah. That's Manana. Yeah, that's yeah, no, the last few seconds of you cut out there. For me. Yeah, no, I was feeling the same way actually. When I was watching satsang today, I was like, I'm pretty sure I understand less what he means now than I did 3 days ago.
Yeah. I hear you. The major click has still happened. Maybe I'm gonna pull up a few of his words from today, because he did say something that intrigued me a little bit more. But how just powerful cognitions raises the quality of questions. So Hinduism is all about you questioning. You're not here to just be given an answer. So don't expect an answer directly from us. Don't expect an answer directly from Guru. Guru is only there to ignite the curiosity within you and to really increase powerful cognitions. And that happens through questioning. So we're here sitting and questioning these deep spiritual truths in order to understand them. And somebody says, you'll never find an answer for who am I? You'll find it in an experience. And that's happened yesterday when we were talking. I didn't find an answer for something. I found an experience. It was almost like a click, and it was different than an answer. And this is what it's all about, though. The quality of our doubts, Swamiji is saying. So having a doubt on these 5 aspects of Paramashiva is perfectly correct in a way, and you should doubt it. But having that quality of a doubt, that type of depth of questioning your reality, leads to a certain depth of quality and clarity of the purpose of life itself. And so when we question this world, this cosmos, you ever look into the stars and be like, wow, like, where am I really? When we stop and just think and look out into our galaxy, it's like, what is going on? What are we doing here? That quality of question, if we really do start to cherish that, then Paramashiva, he will give us a deep clarity about who we are and why we're here.
Yeah.
One thing I can just add regarding Swamiji and the quality of doubt. I remember one time in Swamiji's satsang, he was sharing how when he was younger and he was with his gurus, he said, I used to doubt a lot, but he would not drop the doubt until it is completed or it's discarded. And he said that once I made the decision after that, clearing that doubt, that decision was, I don't have the word in English, he would never return on his decision. Where if I compare to some things where sometimes, I will make a decision, but I'll be okay to come back on it. So that shows that that I did not I did not explore my questioning with the same depth, because once you explore your question to the end, there's no return. Like Swamiji says, experience is given and questioning is just gone. So the intensity and sincerity of questioning and doubting.
And I think all three of us can attest to living that.
Yeah,
intense
exactly.
lifestyle.
So the which?
No, please go ahead. There's a delay, I think. So continue.
I just heard you say lifestyle. Yeah, and so that's what I'm feeling, is that I think that's that's an important part that people miss. And that's exactly the thing, is that when we look up to the stars, it's like, it's very clear we have no idea what's going on. And so the fact that we somehow lose that wonderment and then decide that some word or some book is going to be the answer. Like if that was gonna be the case, then we just have one book and everyone can just read that book when they're a kid and everything's done. So that's the thing, is to find to find a proven science of what is the human condition that can allow for your own questioning without limits, but still incorporate a solution to your consciousness. That's rare.
That's the richness of Hinduism, of Sanatana Hindu Dharma.
I'd like to pull in Manitya Swaranthriya Priya's comment. This is really deep and profound. I absolutely love it. She says, perhaps breath can help us dive into the experience. Big Bang equals inhaling, black hole equals exhaling, but inhaling and exhaling happens in 2 steps, whereas Big Bang and black hole happens simultaneously. That's an awesome visualization for me. I really appreciate it.
I can give now I'm just having an experience that remembers, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. I used to teach, at some point I was teaching Kriyas, right? So I was teaching people to do pranayama. And I did experience that at some point when you were doing these breathing techniques, I would enter into a space where I would forget to breathe in or breathe out. I would be for a certain amount of time, which is way beyond the normal, where there would just be no breath. And then at some point I'm like, oh my God, I'm not breathing. And then I would start breathing again. So I'm wondering if that moment is a moment where you experience kala. Because it is said in the stories of the great sages, of the Kriya yogis and all that, that they enter into that space where they stop breathing for an extensive amount of times. They're in trance, in samadhi, and not trance, I don't, maybe not the right word, samadhi, they're in that space, and then they come back. So I'm wondering if the purpose of cognizing this is to open that experience completely in us.
Well, the other thing is that visualization. So just because you're not breathing doesn't mean inhaling and exhaling don't exist. They both still exist, but you don't need that in that moment. Like, I'm just trying to map this to macrocosm. Like Big Bang, black hole, they both exist, but you don't need to breathe or exhale, and therefore, like, they can be just stable. They can be just present. Like, you can go to a different dimension even beyond Big Bang and black hole. Okay. So black hole is the antimatter of the matter, right?
Yes.
So there is a space where you can just rest and be in that space with Kala.
Because at that moment, it's not like holding the breath, right? When you hold the breath, you're holding the breath. Your mind is there, but in that experience, I forgot I was not breathing.
Yeah.
And it's after like a minute and a half, and some students were like, "Oh, we're watching you, we're not breathing." I said, "Yeah, I don't know, it's just not breathing." And it's like, it's so weird, but I was not endangered, or survival was not at all in question, right?
Yes, not at all. I want to see, somebody had a good question I thought I saw. I missed it. I'm trying to stay on top. When people keep commenting, I'm trying to stay on top. I apologize for everybody.
I can share one thing. During the satsang, I had a slight, I would say half a click. It's like, tip of your tongue, but I would say like tip of my brain grooves. It's not fully there, but Swamiji was saying the Big Bang A and the black hole A are happening simultaneously on different layers. And so suddenly I kind of I had this kind of expansion where I felt like within creation, there's the phases and the faces, right? So within creation, there's also the 5 faces or phases. Phases. The phases is first or faces is first? I forgot.
Phases.
Okay, so there's the 5 faces within each phase, right? So when creation is happening, it's at the same time within creation, there is the creation of creation, the sustenance of creation, the destruction of creation, the delusion of creation, and the liberation of creation. And creation is an ongoing process. It's like a plant growing, right? At every moment, it's happening. And at every moment, all these 5 phases are happening. So I had this kind of saw that, and that kind of expanded, but it kind of stopped there. And I was like, oh yeah, it's happening simultaneously. So the same Big Bang, and within that creation, there is a destruction and creation happening within that creation simultaneously.
Yeah.
If I'm growing muscles, there's creation, there's some fibers which gets dissolved, and there's fibers which get, that's where it kind of got stuck there. It didn't go any further than that.
Balanetra had something that can kind of play off of what you were saying before this a little bit. During satsang, as I was listening to Swamiji, I thought, what if he means one black hole happening and a Big Bang happening on the other end? Then he said, as I was thinking this, that no separate, they are happening simultaneous. Black hole A happens with Big Bang A. Yes. So they are connected. Like the breath, the two are connected, right? So,
but in the breath, there's a gap in between the inhale and exhale. No, they're not fully connected. And that gap is the space of enlightenment. That's what Swamiji was saying a long time back when he started to give the first discourses. So they're not connected really.
But so isn't Big Bang technically creation, and black hole is destruction, and therefore that there is still 3 other phases that exist, that can exist not within them? It hurts my brain, everybody.
That know what exists within them, did you say? No gap? What is it?
So there's no, like, they're happening simultaneously. Big Bang, black hole. One is creation, one is destruction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're happening simultaneously.
Yep.
But both of them happening is also like somehow liberation. And
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think this notion of multiverse, this cognizing this multiverse thing, because even if I feel he was pulling the comment during the satsang of that person on WhatsApp, where he was emphasizing that Swamiji never teaches linear, he always teaches all inclusive and that whole. So I think even in this black hole and Big Bang happening simultaneously is still linear. What I kind of the kind of experience I started to have during the satsang is that it's like stacking on, but there's no stacking. It's like multiverse, right? It's like different universes which are stacked on top of each other. It's like layers of existences, and in each of these existences, this Big Bang A is happening, and this black hole A is happening in all these universes simultaneously. That's the experience I started to have during the satsang.
I think,
and it's like yeah.
Well, just Atul had said something earlier. Swamiji had said that the breath connects from this dimension to Kailasa, and that brings the knowledge. And that's like he's saying his one breath, it pierces all 11 dimensions, the one inhale and the one exhale, right?
He says it goes to Kailasha and comes back.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that relates to what I was sharing earlier, that what Swamiji was sharing before that, where he says that in between the inhale and exhale, there is that almost non-existent moment where nothing happens. It's that pure stillness. And you need to stop there and then come back into the exhale. It's not like there's a moment where you have to turn, right? From inhale to exhale. In that turning point, at some point in the turning point, there's no up nor down. It's just that. And I think that's what he means by Kailasha, because he said, at that time he was saying that if you establish yourself in that moment, well, that is enlightenment.
Nikki is saying, I really love this topic. Interesting enough, modern science is also beginning to prove this to be true. In fact, the amount of energy in a single proton is equal to the amount of energy in the entire universe. Is that true? I didn't know that. It would make sense. It's like string theory. But I want to bring this back to, let's reset the context with what Kala is. Swamiji says Kala is the dimension of universe where universes, big bangs, black holes, planet suns, etc., they all can exist for zillions of years or yugas, and they dissolve simultaneously, spontaneously, without any chronological time, and it's happening now. So everything exploding, the Big Bang exploding, the cosmos is happening, evolving, and collapsing is all happening in this moment right now, which is Kala. And so this is what we're really trying to meditate on and grasp through these 5 different phases of existence, of Paramashiva. And we're trying to understand this.
Yeah, I'm still seeing that. I really feel that what Swamiji he's leading or seeking towards shifting from linear to vertical. And I think it's something related to the vertical time zones that he started briefly to introduce, because in each of these, for example, planes, if there are in each planes, the Big Bang A can happen. It can, within that experience, can exist forever or for zillions of years. And at the same time, in the other dimension or level or plane of the multiverse, the same Big Bang can also exist forever, and they're happening simultaneously. But you have to see things from a vertical depth kind of experience instead of length kind of experience, where we are taught to see length. So when we try to understand A to Z, but it's more like A to Z. It's like X and Y, right? We're like focusing on the X axis, but the vertical time zones is like start to experience things from the Y axis, where you see all the planes stacked on top of each other and all these experiences happening at that moment. So now there are so many things happening simultaneously in all of these dimensions of the multiverse. And if you merge into the now, it becomes such an intense experience. And I think that's what happens when I stop the breath. Of course, I didn't know what was happening, but I think it gets so intense that you experience that consciousness and you are no longer bound by anything, for instance, of this plane, which is breathing.
And there's, I mean, as you're talking about that, there are moments where I don't know if people can tell, but like my eyes just start glazing over. Because I'm just like, I'm feeling this intense bliss within me, and it's just Kundalini awakening. And so when something's happening or somebody's speaking and I'm understanding and I'm getting this click, it brings me to this space of deep bliss. And I can't help but know that there are different, like somebody said this in one of my comments actually today, there's different paths up the mountain. So like, experiencing bliss, go on being blissful. Swami is continuously telling us to go on being blissful.
It's the foundation of everything, no?
Yeah.
Everything is just end of it. He speaks the satsang, but the essence of the satsang is be blissful.
Yeah. Contemplate these things, but be blissful, you know. And always. I know without a doubt when I get locked in these moments of just sheer bliss, I don't need to breathe. I forget about breathing when I'm consumed.
Because I think at that moment we are experiencing, or we're having a glimpse of the multiverse, experiencing the kala, the now from a multiverse, I don't know, perspective, maybe is not the right word, but yeah.
Yeah. So what, like when we're like, this is all about chewing and building and developing the brain grooves for us to ultimately, and this is what the Sahasrara chakra is. It's the 1,000-petaled lotus. So it's creating the various brain grooves in us so we can hold the bliss, hold that state of consciousness. And so the more that we're contemplating, meditating, internalizing these things, I know that like maybe you say something and like this quick little groove gets built, and that's like I'm getting like a little jolt of, hey, like you're on the right path in a sense. I can understand and grasp that understanding, I guess. I don't know how to describe it really. It's just an experience of bliss. Like it's like, whoa.
I really feel that's what Swamiji was sharing today when he says you do Vakyartha Sadhas and the quality of your questioning increases, right? Every day you chew, then you start to become so subtle. Your capacity to grasp more subtle and subtle becomes, it gets awakened because we are triggering it.
Yeah.
It's like building body, right? You put the muscles under stress so they feel they have to expand. If you do Vakyartha Sadhas, you put your subtle grooves under stress so they feel they have to get deepened and they have to grasp more.
And that's been happening today. I could say, like, it's just like, I'm not getting it,
and and that's will persistence, right? You just have to keep going and just chew on it, on these cognitions until they become, like you said, it's not like you're not going to get an answer of who am I. You're going to experience, and that experience will remove all questions.
So if you're here with us, whether you're just joining in, I just want to let people know whether you're joined in from the beginning or not, spend 10 minutes. Swamiji says just spend 10 minutes chewing these cognitions, these deep spiritual truths. Let this be a meditation practice for you, and it will bring you to higher states of consciousness. It can be a direct technique for enlightenment itself. So make sure that you're doing this and chewing these truths with us. I didn't mean to cut you off, Ashutosh.
No, I was done. There's one little thing I just wanted to share with the audience. When you were talking about Sahasrara, yesterday or day before, we had somebody commenting on the jatas. And why do we wear the jatas on top, for instance? It is to stimulate the Sahasrara and to allow this subtle grooves to get deepened. Because when you put the stress on because the jatas, they put a stress on that part of the region. So your awareness automatically is brought higher, the higher chakras instead of the lower chakras. And that allows us to go towards and to manifest that experience of Kala, or, within us. So that's one thing.
The subtle pressure, I don't even know if stress, but subtle pressure, because
stimulation.
Stimulation's a very good word. Stimulation.
Yes.
I even did. Sorry, go ahead.
No, fine. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I even did a meditation one time where I washed my jatas and I wrapped them up in a towel, and I did a huge big turban. I wasn't planning on meditating, but I was like, whoa, like if I could I had to balance and really be aware of the top of my head, like more so than ever.
Yes.
Like, how often do you walk around and think about like something up top here? And so I just ended up sitting down and I went into a space of meditation, and it was next level. I was just holding my awareness there. It was so simple because of all this weight that was sitting on top of my head, much more so than just when it's worn, just like you are right now. So it is without a doubt a method of
that's what Swamiji said. He said jatas automatically put you in the space of meditation.
Exactly. Somebody has a question. Mirage, I've gone bald. Can I utilize a turban or wrap rudraksha around in place of jatas? Absolutely.
Any form of pressure in the Sahasrara region, I think initially, I don't think it will be, I don't know, you have to test, but definitely, I'm pretty sure any form of stimuli will, because one of the main purpose is to bring your awareness to that. And when there is some physical stimuli, it's easy for your awareness to go there. It's like if I press on my hand, then it will be easy for me to be aware and conscious of that region where I'm pressing. It's a very simple practice or understanding.
Uttarananda, I just wanted to acknowledge this as well. Spending 10 minutes every day chewing on these. So what he's done is downloading these satsangs. And Swamiji says, watch this 5, 6, how many times some satsangs. And of course, I mean, I know that I need to watch things on repeat just to grasp them. And I like to listen to them while I'm working out as well, whether it's either basically Mahavakya or satsang when I'm training. So constantly chewing on these is really important to you. You can go much beyond 10 minutes, but Swamiji's asking, just be here for just 10 minutes. To give yourself this 10 minutes. This is
an opportunity.
You. Yes. You're here, you're in this world, right? So we might as well give ourselves the opportunity to experience liberation by contemplating these deep truths. Nithya experiencing this in our systems in microscopic cellular level automatically without having to cognize it. Similarly, the truth of the 5 phases of the 5 phases are happening simultaneously, spontaneously. For me, understanding I right away when Swamiji talks about macrocosm, I almost always map things to my body. I use analogies to athletics and my physical body continuously because I see how they two do work together, like the creation of cells within you, the creation of muscles within you. That is one aspect. but at any given time, like sustaining the cellular activity, sustaining your muscles, that's also an aspect of Paramashiva. So I'm always trying to utilize this, but we got stuck on this yesterday, which is the liberation aspect. At what point, or delusion, is it, so when we're mapping and thinking about this, like our body, what is the delusion component within us? So your cells create, they sustain, they rejuvenate themselves, they destroy themselves. Is the delusion aspect like them? Like that's where I got stuck. The liberation is obviously, or I don't even say obviously, but delusion and liberation are kind of like. So if anybody has a few words on that specifically, I know that's where yesterday. See above example for skin rejuvenation. Yeah, skin rejuvenation.
No, one thing we were starting to look into was that why is the delusion necessary, right? Because they're all there.
Get that. Look, I get that on a physical level. Like you and I are entering into this moment, like we're agreeing to be in delusion.
Even for a body to exist, each cell has to decide to generate a certain form of delusion to experience a different cell. Actually, before I had an experience some time back, I was looking at the sky, and suddenly I thought, see, who am I? I'm human, thinking all kinds of great things. I'm seeing the vastness of the sky, which is definitely beyond my grasp. And I'm thinking, and I'm seeing an ant on the floor, and I'm seeing like, what is this? I feel I have, for example, microbes in my body. And in front of the idea of microbes, I'm like, oh, I don't like bacteria or whatever. I have my own perceptions of microbes. And then I thought, but who tells me I am not a microbe in a huge liver, which is beyond my conception? How I have a liver in my body and all kinds of bacteria are existing within that liver. I'm here as a human being sitting on the street looking at the sky. What if this whole existence was just a huge liver? But because I can't cognize it, I cannot identify it as liver, and I was just one of these bacteria existing in that liver. And then I just kind of went into a space of awe, and I was just like, whoa. Then I just stayed there. And I felt it was a very powerful experience, because I felt it changes everything. All the perceptions you have about you and all the conclusions you have about you and life and how to operate, suddenly just having that possibility happening, it kind of made so many of my conclusions and perceptions redundant. So I think even in the cells, at the cellular level, one cell has to feel separate from another cell. Otherwise, how can a white cell, if you have, for example, a cancer cell and a white cell is supposed to take away the cancer cell. That's the responsibility of the white cell. But the white cell has to cognize the cancer cell as separate from it for it to do its work. So that's a delusion.
Okay, I get that now.
Because Paramashiva means everything. Super consciousness is all pervading. It is everything. It is within the cell. It is within everything. But for a white cell to acknowledge a cancer cell, they have to be in some form of delusion. Otherwise, it's oneness.
So what about liberation now, though?
But liberation would means like, liberation.
So for instance, like
liberation, I feel today Swamiji was sharing, or yesterday was sharing about the health. Know how when you digest this cognitive truth, how automatically your body heals. He was saying, what I'm sharing with you is not meaningless. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sharing it with you. I'm sharing it with you because I know how useful it is for you, even though sometimes we feel it's not very useful.
Yeah.
When we contemplate on a powerful cognition, and that powerful cognition turns into experience, our whole body gets rewired. And so, technically speaking, the white cell needs a certain time to destroy the cancer cell. But when you have a cognitive shift, your body can suddenly miraculously heal. What is miraculous healing? I think it's a form of it's a liberation.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be possible otherwise, if it was not some kind of beyond mind or physicality regulations thing. So the superconscious intervention has to happen. That's the only thing I can think about for liberation. From a body perspective.
We're at 45 minutes here. I'm not sure how much longer we want to go. Yesterday we went a lot longer than what we were planning originally. It was nice. Today's a bit more of a grind to pull out these cognitions, though. But the engagement's been great. I know I haven't been showing everybody's comments that is commenting, because I want to try and stay on topic, especially when we're trying to chew away at something. So if you've commented and I haven't pulled it up, I'm just trying to do my best as well to keep us going down one thought current at a time. So I appreciate everybody that is engaging, though. Yunatma, do you have any take on anything that was just said or that we've discussed?
Yeah. That's in what Ashtoshananda just saying. So then what I feel is like, so that is the experience of the multiverse. When we experience that dimension, those I think we have to call higher dimensions, that that's when that healing happens, right? That's when the liberations happen. So so that like the the ancient knowledge from the Hindu civilization, the Enlightenment civilization, from the Vedic scriptures, comes in the first Upanishad, the first line of the first Upanishad, Isa Vasyam Idagam Sarvam, which, from my understanding, means that the consciousness pervades everything. So that is the thing that exists. So even when our body goes away, that thing is still existing. So it's like when Paramashiva is in that, I guess, if we could say before Paramashiva decides to expand, when Paramashiva is existing, so then when Paramashiva decides to expand and to create many, my understanding would be that creates the possibility for delusion. So like if it's just Paramashiva, he has not decided to expand yet, then in that sense there wouldn't be any delusion. When before the oneness expands to become many, he's not in delusion. So when the oneness expands to create many, that creates the possibility for delusion.
Yes.
And somehow out of that cosmic soup, we decide, we get enamored with those many and become deluded by it. And we choose to take the body from the cognition that we are somehow separate. So our body gets manifest out of delusion. Like the conscious birth avatar is different. They take from a different perspective. But most of us are taking birth out of delusion. So so even any cell that seems, anything that is created that we perceive as many or as different, by its nature it holds that possibility for delusion. So that is kind of my understanding of how on a cellular level the delusion is there.
I want to just bring up Jessica as well. She said something kind of in line with this. liberation is going behind free will and experience the pure truth. Pure truth is consciousness. Right now in this body, we only grasp glimpses of consciousness and not the whole picture.
I had when Nithyananda Maharaj was speaking, and you also, Nithyananda, you remember, I had a kind of a visual experience. One time, Swamiji was training Balisans to do materialization, right? And he was saying, okay, I'm generating it, it's happening. And then there was a Balisant, which was not at all where we were. They were driving in a taxi somewhere, they were going somewhere, but somehow they got connected through live Facebook, I think, or something like that. And she just reached into the air, she saw it, she reached into the air, she grabbed it, and when she came back, when the hand came back, the diamond was materialized. So Swamiji would have, the generation of the diamond would have happened in another dimension. And in that space of oneness, she was able to go across dimensions to reach and to bring it back to this dimension and allow the materialization to happen. That's crazy, but that can only happen if you cognize the multiverse. And in that experience, I would feel the only way she cognized the multiverse is because she entered in oneness with Swamiji.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
In that oneness, she was able to access through these things. So that's very powerful. That means when Swamiji is declaring something, that I'm having a lot of clicks now suddenly. When Swamiji is declaring something, it means it's already created at some level. Yes. Now you just need to experience your that oneness to reach to that level and to bring it back where you want to bring it back.
And so for us, just to bring a little bit more clarity for why we're so enthralled with Swamiji and Guru, is because that's the feeling connection, the string that ties the between the 11 dimensions. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I was just going to add, and that is why it is Kala. There's no time. The diamond was simply materialized. It didn't go through the process of growing, maturing, and, you know, like we normally understand things. It was just simply, it happened, simply happened.
That's why, again, I know not everybody here is a follower of Swamiji, but the feeling connection with Guru, with Swamiji, that oneness feeling, that is the space from which Shaktis manifest. That is the only reason this Balasant is able to reach out into the air and come back with this materialized object.
But she said she saw it.
Yes,
she was sharing, I saw it, I reached for it, and I came back and I had it. But when she saw it, people around her did not see it.
Because she was more in a deeper...
Because she was in that space at that moment.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's the grace of Guru. Any powerful spiritual experience I've ever had is only because of that feeling connection.
There's a glimpse of, yeah, and we have to turn it into a permanent experience, and that's why we're doing this.
So that oneness with Guru, that oneness with Swamiji is liberation itself from the delusion of this dimension, because she's then able to see in a different dimension and literally grasp something from a different dimension and bring it into this dimension because of that feeling connection.
It's so impossible, right? Technically. So, but when it comes to your experience, it transforms everything.
And this is, when you would say technically, no, like quantum physics shows that in any moment in my hand, there's something called strange and anti-strange quarks that just all of a sudden appear and disappear. This is science. This is modern science. Quantum physics cannot understand why some particles of me are appearing and disappearing, but it is happening.
I think it's because of the multiverse.
It has
to be. They exist, and somehow they crisscross and they happen, and that movement must be happening between the multiverses, and everything is happening simultaneously.
Yeah, because it's not being created or destroyed. It's just traveling to somewhere that we haven't seen, that we can't see. And this
with our 5 senses.
Yeah.
On this plane.
This is the wonder of third eye. Kundalini awakening, Guru. Sakalananda says she was in multi-dimensional spaces simultaneously. There's the key word again, simultaneously. And this was a spontaneous happening. Absolutely. Yeah, that's all. Liberation is when you get the cosmic joke. Swami, on that? We're coming up onto 1 hour. Should we begin to wrap things up, you think?
I don't know if Nithyananda has something else to add. I'm okay with wrapping it up for today.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm okay. Whatever you guys want to do.
I think we could end it there. That was a nice ending, a good, powerful click. It kept me feeling with a deep feeling connection.
Anyways.
Then let's each person share a powerful cognition then you take out of this.
Well, what Ashutosh just said saved this whole session for me. I felt like I was just beating my head up against the wall the entire time. But understanding that, you know, through these, there's 11 different dimensions that they're all existing simultaneously. The feeling connection with Swamiji, when you dive deeper and deeper, and that builds, that strengthens, all of a sudden you can reach literally into a different dimension.
Yes.
And that's happening simultaneously. That dimension's happening simultaneously at the same moment. And this is beyond logic, but it does happen. It's beyond, it's quantum physics understands this. I get this. I understand that. But for me, the only way to experience that, I know, is by deepening the feeling connection with Guru, with Paramashiva. And wow, and that happens through integrity, building more and more integrity to him. That's my powerful click.
Yeah, great. Yeah, my understanding is I had a lot of fun listening. A lot of things have come up in me. Like I said, at the end of today's satsang, I was like, somehow I got completely confused in the last hour. I'm not going to have anything to say, which is okay. And so yeah, my powerful cognition is similar thing, is that how else can I say it, but the Guru, and not just any Guru, right? I've studied over 100 gurus for 15 years. So not just any Guru, but the authentic Guru. They can, like, that's the thing, is you look up at the stars and everyone knows you have no idea what's going on in life. We're very clear. And so why should we expect to understand? So the solution should be something you don't understand. But at the same time, it'll not be something that no humans have ever discovered or looked into what we're doing here or why or how to make solutions. So my powerful cognition is that the Guru knows best, and he's going to go on knowing best and giving the best, and have the will persistence. Don't quit on it. Like Swamiji was saying, be intensely active with powerful cognitions. And even if you can't see or experience the multiverse right now, it's going on. You know, our blessings being initiated by Swamiji is something you cannot get anywhere else. So my powerful cognition is have faith, trust in the initiation of the Guru to see yourself through until you experience it again.
Beautiful. Ashutosh.
Yeah. My powerful cognition, I'm a little bit, something is kind of clicking right now. So I was zoning out and kind of lost in my own seeking for a moment.
We could take a moment. Everybody else that's also here, please leave a comment.
Share
Let
also
us know
in the
what
comments.
Powerful cognition is as well.
What I'm realizing is that we're actually pretty ignorant. The thing that started to click, just I'll add it into my powerful cognition. So Swamiji was sharing, recently in some recent satsang that there's different planes, and each planes don't have the same level of subtleness. And the more subtle something is, the more quick it happens. So I'm against contemplating on this materialization experience, because when you declare something in a subtle level, it happens, because at that level, because it is subtle, it can simply shift just like that. At a more gross level, like here on this plane, it takes more time. But if you enter into this, if you experience kala, you can go into that subtle layer, access what you need to access, and if you want to bring it back to this layer, you can. So experiencing, realizing, my powerful cognition is very simple, is that it's not linear. It's just not, deciding to cognize things on a linear level is the worst decision. It's just not, it's not going to bring you where you want to go. If you want to go somewhere,
it's deciding for delusion.
We have to shift towards vertical. We have to start to realize that this multiple universes are just happening simultaneously, and many things are happening at these levels, and you can simply decide to access these levels. And for that, the initiation, the blessing of the guru, the guidance of the guru, is a blessing. Is because, I mean, you don't have that kind of guidance, consistent guidance, other than from guru. He doesn't want anything from you. Nobody would have spent that much time on you than guru. Nobody. So it's such a blessing to have this kind of guidance, and so that we can shift from a linear perspective to a vertical perspective. That, at least that's how I'm cognizing multiverse right now. Maybe because there might be also, it might be like, it might not be just vertical. It might,
That's what Swamiji said. He's like, because like all the best way he can do it right now for us to understand and grasp, he says technically up down in a way, but it's not. It's got to be like everywhere.
That's why I think that way it's like consciousness explodes within itself. It's like all directions simultaneously. I don't. It's definitely something that to be contemplated on.
Yes. So let us know what your powerful cognitions were from
your comments below.
Song from this Vakyartha Sadhas. Thank you so much for all that participated and sat and listened. We truly do appreciate it. I know I'm getting a ton from this, even when we're sitting and just like sheer like, what is going on? I know that I am grasping things, and I'm getting some powerful clicks, and I really do appreciate you both being here as well, Sri Nithya Ashutoshananda and Sri Nithya Yanatmananda. Maybe you can lead us in our closing prayer, as you did lead us into our opening one, Yanatmananda.
Sure. Please close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe as slowly and deeply as you can. And remember something that you feel deeply grateful for. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Parukar Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam, everybody. Thank you very much again for tuning in. We'll see you guys on future videos, future Vakyartha Sadhas. And again, you can check out these two amazing beings YouTube channels in the description below. Somebody was saying maybe the link was off, so I'll take a look at that too. And of course, you can find our Guru's channel down there as well. Have a great evening, everybody. And as always, be blissful. Nithyanandam.
Yes.